tell the truth and people think that's funny. I think because people aren't expecting to hear the truth. They're so used to hearing lies and bullshit through life. So, all right, I don't know what you'll think this will be. It's just whatever it's going to be. Weird things happen wherever I go. I don't know why, they just do. I was at the library earlier today printing things, and then when I was leaving, I was trying to knock snow off my car, and then I see somebody off in the distance, two people arguing and swearing, and I was paying attention to that a lot, and then somebody came by and said, can I ask you a favor? And I said, I don't have any money to give anyone, and I figured that would be it. Nope. He wanted a ride, and I said, sorry, I don't give rides to people I don't know. And then he just kept doubling down on that. And then I said, well, I think that's how people get murdered, giving rides to people that they don't know. And I said, I don't know if you have any weapons. I'm not a cop. I'm not going to frisk you. And then he said he just needed to get a meal at the Salvation Army, and then he was asking me where that was, and it's like, yeah, it's probably a good idea that I turned you down, because I don't know if you really needed that ride at all if you don't even know where you're going. I said, well, I like walking for exercise. Good luck. I mean, it wasn't like it was sub-zero out there. I mean, you have to protect yourself. I'm fine with turning down people I don't know. That happened in suburban Chicago when I was visiting there in the past couple years. Somebody first offered me $20 to give them a ride to a place in the south suburbs, and then I went back to get more food, my dessert, and then he offered me $40. And it's like, this sounds like the beginning of a murder mystery. And he didn't bother asking anybody else in that crowded McDonald's during that time I was there eating. And it's like, why are you only asking me? Because I'm single? I mean, this is just Plains. I guess he forgot about John Wayne Gacy being from that area, apparently, because that had been a while. Yep, I went there on that one. Yes, more car stories. In the past week, not once but twice, my car spun out. I did a 180 into the other lane, and all I'm thankful for was that it was on a secondary road, not the freeway, which meant less of a chance that a car would come around and hit me. And I mean, I had that feeling of being a Hollywood stuntman that I didn't want, but what are you going to do about that? It's like, okay, no harm, no foul, and then just keep going. I've said that a lot lately with the winter weather, is keep going, because I know it's like to get stuck in the snow. I guess that's proof of that one quote. It doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you don't stop. Yeah, that really fits Minnesota in the winter. There's got to be another car story out there. Eventually, I'll probably come back around to it. Junk mail. We all get it, and I still can't believe how many different ways people can get my name wrong on junk mail. Or the fact that I've had a post office box for over 4 years, and I still get mail for somebody who had it before me. I mean, get a clue, people, and whenever I can, I try sending it back saying, not this P.O. box, return to sender. And I'm still getting some every so often. I lost count of how many different ways people get my name wrong. And I know one time in college, somebody did it just to annoy me because they knew I was annoyed by somebody always get my name wrong. Different L names, or Kyle, or my big brother's name. Yeah, you wouldn't think there would be so many different ways to get a name like Lyle Larue wrong, but you'd be wrong. Oh yes, another car story. I've got it. I had to skip out on doing karaoke this past week because it was just taking too long to get my car cleared off after the snow. Because it was no problem getting the snow cleared off this past Thursday, but there was a sheet of ice under that. And I went out to my car 4 times, and it really didn't work until the next morning, where I just let the sun beat down on it, and then that loosened it up a little, along with buying a big bottle of windshield washer fluid. I ended up using quite a bit of that, almost all of it, and that was a pretty big bottle. And then I even went back to my apartment in the cabinet to see what I could use to just throw on it, in hopes that would loosen up the sheet of ice. And I ended up finding an almost empty bottle of Tilex, and it's like, I don't even remember how long ago I bought it. It's like, why did I keep it around? So I junked it, and there were other things like Pine Sol in there, but it's like, no, I'm not going anywhere tonight. Just wait. I don't want to make things worse. That's what I've told myself is, if I don't know what I'm doing, don't try too hard because you'll probably just make it worse. And I think there are a few times where that definitely has happened to me. And now I'm trying to think of times in particular where that happened. I guess eventually I'll come back to that. Sometimes I do things for the experience of it. I know that Twitter postings remind me of that. This weekend I went to a hockey game at Charles Schultz Arena in St. Paul. Why did I choose that arena? Because I'm a big Charlie Brown fan, and it's named for the Charlie Brown creator. It's the home ice for Cretin-Durham Hall. They also Stillwater 5-2. I like seeing the Snoopy statue inside. I mean, there are worse things than wanting to do that type of experience. And I'm impressed that they now have a poster up there about the statue serious. Then I think people aren't as likely to question why there is one there. And sadly, they have to have it roped off because otherwise kids would be climbing on it. Because, you know, kids are going to be kids. They see a toy, they want to play with the toy. So, yeah, I guess I have watched more hockey since I moved here. I guess that's one way of wording it. And it's kind of odd, one of the things that I saw when I was researching that on Twitter, where somebody made a reference to how they named that arena for him, saying, yes, for Minnesota's native son who was depressed and moved to California. He's not the only famous Minnesotan that left. How about Bob Dylan? And they did a mural for him in downtown Minneapolis. I mean, it doesn't matter if you stay. As long as you're from here, they're going to celebrate if you get famous. I mean, that with John Goodman, he was born in suburban St. Louis, doesn't live there anymore, but he threw out the first ball at a Cardinals baseball game. I mean, I know that's one thing I've said on internet dating before when I've been asked what 3 wishes I would have. One of them is to be Grand Marshal of Parade. Well, that's more likely to happen in my hometown in small town Iowa because there's probably less competition for that. Although they have although there's a TV personality from my hometown now on ABC, so, well, I guess I'd probably lose out to her because she's definitely more famous than me. Especially when she gets to do a news show with Michael Strahan, the Giants player, yeah. Oh, yes, I'm ripping a little. I hadn't planned on referring to that one, but sometimes things happen. Let's see. I was at Can Wonderland this weekend, and I wasn't sure what sandwich to have, but I was looking through them. It's like, that one looks pretty good on what it would be. And it was called a Tony Montana sandwich, and it's like, that sounds like a gangster. And I had to Google it when I got home. It's like, that was the Al Pacino character in Scarface. Say hello to my little friend. And I got confused well before I saw that movie because when I was a kid, I'm thinking, what, they're doing a movie about Al Capone? He was nicknamed Scarface. Nope, not about Al Capone, fictional gangster. Okay, I guess he didn't have the copyright on being called Scarface, is all I can think of on that. Sometimes people share nicknames. The great one, Jackie Gleason and Wayne Gretzky were both known as that. Yeah, I think that'll do it for me. I think you've all been great.
Woo!